Hi, I'm Troy with Wines, Pines, and Canines. Today we're going to talk about some of the wonderful features of this GeoPro camper and how to get the most out of them. I really like these frameless windows, but one of the things they don't do at times is let a lot of air into our camper. Today we're going to talk about, and I'm going to show you a way to make that modification to this window where you can extend it out a little farther and increase airflow. Alright, now from the factory you get approximately 5 inches of opening. There's a screw at either end.
Now at this point your window will actually move freely. So you may want to have two hands doing this just in case.
Alright.
Now you're going to slowly move the window to the side. And underneath here where these actuating arms are, there's a little plastic piece and it's kind of hard to see.
Alright, so this plastic insert that fits underneath here is 16 inches long. We're going to take 4 inches off of it, making it 12 inches, and then we're going to reinsert it back inside and reinstall the window. It's taking a little bit more than expected. Alright, I've got it in there now. Now I'm going to bring this window back, sliding this one little rubber wheel back in, centering the window on the frame, and now I'm going to put the 2 screws back in. Alright, so we put the insert back in, tighten the window back down. Removing 4 inches off the 16-inch plastic insert basically netted us an additional 2 inches. Alright, so next time we take this out into the woods, we're going to see how much more of an improvement as far as airflow we get by modifying these windows. No. When you're not using the camper, don't think for a second that you shouldn't turn your battery off. And one of the quickest ways to know if your battery is off, if its LED light is on, this switch right here is turned on, turn your key off, the light will go off. The solar panel on the roof will feed the batteries and keep it topped off for you. Otherwise, phantom draw from your appliances in the camper are going to bring your battery down to the point that it won't be any good to you when you go to use it.
Okay, let's talk about this shower miser. Now, this is to be used predominantly when you were boondocking. And the reason is this. If you want to get your water warm before taking a shower, without this, normally what you would do is you would be drawing water from your freshwater tank through here, running it until it gets warm, and it would be going down into your gray tank. With the shower miser, if you turn it on, it recirculates the water from your freshwater tank right back into your freshwater tank, so you're not wasting water and filling up your gray tank. Why should you only use it when you're predominantly boondocking? If you are on city water and you run this, what happens is the water is coming in from the city water and it's going back to your freshwater tank. So if you aren't aware of that, what could happen is your freshwater tank will overflow. We've seen a lot of posts online with people saying, hey, my fresh water tank is overflowing. I can't figure out what's going on. Most times it's this shower miser. So unless there's a reason why you're trying to fill your fresh water tank while you're on city water, keep it off unless you're boondocking and you're using it to get the water warm. Let's talk about this fridge. Now this is a two-way fridge, which means it'll run off your propane or it'll run off electric. The newer GeoPros, the 2021.5 and above, I believe they're now on a 12-volt fridge, but anything earlier than that, this is likely what you're going to be dealing with. So there's a few things that I do to make these fridges run a little bit more efficiently. One thing is, off to the side here, there is a little fin, and if you push it all the way down, it's going to make your fridge warmer. And if you push it more to the top, it's going to make it colder. So if you find that your fridge isn't the right temperature, that's one of the things that you can do to really adjust the temperature inside. This from Amazon, it is a little temperature gauge, and it will tell you what the temperature is inside your fridge so you can keep track of it. And the third thing that I use is a fridge fan, and this is from Camco. They also have a blue one from Volterra. So what this does is circulate the air inside your fridge, thereby trying to eliminate any cold or hot spots. Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you about is the Wi-Fi Ranger, the TV, and the radio. So the Wi-Fi Ranger, there is this little lever right here, so you always want to make sure it's on. They usually, at least on ours, had a little description sticker here with all of your passwords and everything. And then they should have given you a little piece of paper. I follow this paper each time I set up at a campground. I have not had any problems, except one time it was not working. And somebody that I reached out to, they sent me some reset instructions. I did those. It worked fine after that. The next item is the TV and the antenna. So if you're scanning for channels, you need to make sure that if you're on cable, that this green button is off, because that's your antenna button. And if you're on over the air, wherever you are, does not have cable, you want that green button on, and that way you can actually get channels, and then just follow the instructions on the TV. The other thing is, as far as working the TV and the radio, is the TV speakers are not real good on this TV. So I'm gonna show you how to get those to play through the radio. Okay, so I've covered up the TV just because I don't want to run afoul of any YouTube copyright laws, but I wanted to show you the difference between the speakers in the TV and running the speakers through the radio. So as you can see, this is just playing through the TV and you just don't hear it as well. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And now,
Peter, give me
that's
a shoe.
playing through
shoe?
the speakers.
The
So how did we get it to do that?
Bottom of shoes.
We tried this multiple times on multiple trips and couldn't get it to work. So if what I'm about to show you doesn't work, I suggest hitting this little reset button with a paper clip or a pin, and hopefully it'll work for you. Also, this is a 2019 model. I believe some of the newer models have a different radio. So right now, the TV is playing through the TV speakers. And I've just turned this on, and you can see it's on auxiliary. So we're going to hit this AV button, and that's all you need.
Sooner or later, this electric jack is going to die on you. And chances are it's going to happen at a worst possible time. I want you to spend a little bit of time looking at how you open it up and how you make it work, if you have to. There's a rubber grommet in the top of this motor housing. You can pop it out really easy with a pocket knife. If you look in that hole, you're going to see a 3/4 inch socket. So you need to have one of these. What you have to do is set your socket down over the nut, set it to the proper, and you're going to want to either back it up like this to lower it, or to raise it up, you're going to go clockwise.
So there are three things that you may need a manual override for at some point, and that is the tongue jack, your awning, and this slide. So underneath this sofa, there is a box in the back that has the instructions for a manual override. But unless you know it is there, you're never going to go looking for it. Now this little panel is attached with an L bracket, so you would need to unscrew those and take this off to get to this. However, ours, after about 3 months, just fell off. So we've actually put it on hinges. But it is still so difficult to open because it's so close to the floor. So we actually used the little thing that came with the microwave, put it under here, and then just lift it open. So just a fun tip. So under here is the box, and it's near the wheel well, and it has the instructions on it for how to reset it. But if this still doesn't work, there's another way. Okay, so the manual reset did not work inside, and you still can't get your slide in. What do? We found a video online, and it's by Lippert Industries on the Schwintek slides, and I'm going to link that down below with the description so you can find that video on YouTube if you want to look into this. We are not going to take this apart today because, well, we've never had to, and I don't want to cause an issue with a slide that's actually working. But there's a little screw here. According to the instructions, you take that out and you peel this rubber back, and inside is going to be the motor. You pop it up, I think they said online about 1/2 inch, an inch, and at that point your slide is not working on the motor anymore. Oops, sorry guys. You need to make sure that you do the other side as well. You then push this slide in But back inside, what you then need to do is get a RV slide lock. Now you can find those on Amazon, but they're about $35, $40. What we did and what they actually did in the video is just take a 2x4 or a big wooden dowel, but you put that down on the slide inside. That keeps it from coming back out while you're traveling.
All right, let's say the unthinkable has happened, which in RVing means it's going to happen. You're going to get in a situation some night probably where your awning, for whatever reason, is not working. Your awning could be in the out position. That creates a real problem on how to get home. This little cap right here, when you release it, if this awning was out, I could pull this cap out. There's a little nut right here. You slide that cap off, take your socket wrench with a 3/8 socket on it, and you can crank your awning in or crank your awning out. Of course, who would ever want to crank your awning out if you had a problem, but hopefully it never comes to that.
And I think some people have actually used a drill if you wanted it to go a little quicker. From what we read, it's counterclockwise.
It's right? Counterclockwise.
To bring it back in, because as you said, why would you want to bring it out if it's not working?
I wouldn't use a drill unless you went on a real slow speed.
This next thing we're going to talk about, we have actually covered in our review video and again on a video all on its own. But it is the one thing that we see come up online more than anything else, and that is the inverter. So if you are on shore power, you should just never have this inverter on. There is no reason to have it on. If you are boondocking, the only time you want to have this inverter on is if you need to use an outlet, and you should sparingly use the outlets and only items under 1,000 watts. Here's the reason why. We plugged in a light when we came in here about 15 minutes ago. Our battery was at 100%. It is now down to 73%, and we just turned this inverter off. So again, do not use it if you are on shore power. And if you are boondocking, only use it when you absolutely have to. And to turn it on, you just hit the little button. Green light comes on, turn it off, the green light goes off. And you're going to hear the fan run when you turn it on. Wanted to talk to you about the battery real quick. So the dealers have the decision what kind of battery they want to put in, and typically you're going to get one 12-volt. You may, if you're a real negotiator, get two 6-volt batteries, and this is a flooded lead acid battery. Now, the one thing with these is you do not want to let them go below 50%. You would think if you're not real familiar with batteries, as long as it's above 0, you're good, but that is not true with these. If you continuously go below 50%, you can really damage and shorten the life of this battery. So you need to make sure inside that you're watching your control panel when you are boondocking and that you do not go below 50% on these batteries. Also, another reason why we recommend bringing a generator with you for those first few times, just to make sure that you get comfortable with what you can and can't run inside your camper.
If you own this camper for more than a few months, you will likely find that one of your blinds will come apart. Luckily, it's an easy fix. Start by pulling out the plastic ends. They may require a little effort to get them out. Next, slide the blind completely out. Fold it back over and then slide it back into the groove, making sure that it stays folded over. This is what it should look like. Put the plastic ends back on next, but it can be a bit of a challenge and it may take a few tries. Now, you should be operational again.
And really, these are just a lot of the items that have either come up for us or we see talked about a lot online. We are now going to give you one bonus tip, and I'm going to give you fair warning. If you do not like spiders, you can dip out now. But before you do, if you'd like to see more of these videos, please like and subscribe. And remember, Desi wants you to hit that notification bell.
Here's the big bonus. I put a flea collar in this compartment yesterday because last week I was doing some maintenance on the camper and I didn't think about it, and I hadn't put one of these flea collars in here for this reason. I found a spider right inside here. It looked like a pretty menacing spider, and anyway, it got me thinking. So I went ahead and put this flea collar inside because every time up to now I've done it and I've never had a problem with bugs, and this time I didn't do it, and lo and behold I have spiders in the compartment. So hopefully this helps. Any kind of flea collar should work.